eBay now accounts for less than 5% of all US e-commerce. Is this the end for this legacy platform stalwart of the internet economy? Or can they tweak their business model enough to make a comeback and gain back some much needed market share? Interesting article came out, Marketplace Pulse, talking about how eBay now accounts for less than 5% of US e-commerce. Is this just a fact that US e-commerce has grown so aggressively? Or is this a premonition of eBay's demise? Article says, hey, eBay had more than 10% share of US e-commerce a decade ago, but that's not really a fair comparison. As the rest of the market continued to grow, eBay did not keep up. I think to me, what would be kind of more interesting to see is, show me eBay's share of e-commerce compared to other comps of e-commerce marketplace companies over the past 10 years. To me, the interesting comp would be Etsy. You could look at Amazon, but it's not really a one-to-one comparison. Amazon, right, is investing aggressively in logistics and fulfillment, aggressively in 1P first-party product, Amazon Basics, etc. Etsy, to me, is a really good comp. And line those two up and say, how is it that Etsy's been on fire with COVID and eBay has been fudging their GMV numbers? Go look at the video we did a few weeks ago where eBay slyly restated its GMV numbers, said it wasn't a big deal, but it actually is a huge deal. The number was over $40 billion of overstated GMV, which eBay slyly said, oh, don't worry about this. $40 billion in overstated GMV. Go check out that video. Anyway, point is, Etsy, on the other hand, has a very similar business model, right? It's decentralized in the sense that there's no centralized fulfillment. You've got a bunch of homemade goods, kind of third-party sellers. It's not necessarily used goods. It's a lot of homemade craft goods, right? But similar kind of transaction flow when you think about it. But Etsy's on fire. Now doing M&A. Etsy bought Depop in Europe for a couple $2 billion, which is a secondhand clothing marketplace. That is a spitting image of what eBay should be, right? eBay should own secondhand clothing, which we've talked about is it's literally a whole industry in and upon itself, right? You have new clothing and then secondhand clothing. And within secondhand clothing, you've got certain verticals like sneakers, StockX and GOAT, used kind of cheaper clothing, and then you've got used nice designer clothing, right? There's whole massive multi-billion-dollar segments just within that. How did eBay miss this? And I think this speaks to this idea of kind of horizontal mega marketplaces and then vertical specific marketplaces. And this is a theme we've been talking a lot about on the show for years, which is this constant battle between the vertical specific marketplaces, which can solve for certain value-added services, for example, with StockX and GOAT, or other kind of luxury good clothing marketplaces, right? How do you verify authenticity on those luxury goods, right? That requires a value-added service from the marketplace to help instill trust. Whereas you look at eBay, there's all this counterfeit stuff, and eBay isn't stepping in to the middle of that transaction to help say, hey, I'm going to have a staging area. Send me the Louis bag. I'm going to help verify the Louis bag is legit. And then, yes, now you can buy your used Louis bag on eBay, which has been happening for decades, by the way. But 90% of that stuff is counterfeit. So ultimately, I think, this was, yes, leadership and management mistakes, strategic errors on behalf of eBay management with multiple tenures involved here. Multiple executive teams have now cycled through eBay. Part of their biggest mistake was the inability to say, we need to change our business model. eBay has not wanted to get in the position of really investing in what I would call that physical infrastructure. A lot of people would associate that with doing fulfillment. But, as you'll see, just with that one example on kind of verifying authenticity, that's much more than just fulfillment, right? Fulfillment now is table stakes. And that has also plagued eBay, right? People want their stuff quickly. And if eBay isn't helping to provide something equivalent to do 2-day shipping, and you need to pay for your shipping separately from each seller, right? Why didn't eBay just say, we're going to set up a massive warehouse, third-party sellers, send us all your used stuff. And now, if your stuff is in our warehouse, we can batch orders together and people could now buy from multiple sellers and we could batch ship stuff in one shipment. And we could maybe even give free shipping if you buy 3 things because they're all coming from the same warehouse, right? But that would require a change to how eBay's business model has operated for decades. Ultimately, no one there in leadership had it in them to make that departure. They always wanted to say, hey, we don't compete with our third-party sellers. That's what the former CEO, Devin Wenig, tweeted at Jeff Bezos when Jeff Bezos took a shot at eBay and pointed out eBay's slow growth with third-party sellers in one of his annual letters. But there's a difference between competing against third-party sellers by being a 1P seller and selling first-party inventory and providing other value-added services that remove friction from the core transaction and ultimately are providing more value to both seller and buyer. eBay has absolutely failed to do that. They have tepid growth at best. And, they've needed to do more and haven't had the leadership to go and do that. And that's why you see their stock here really still up above where it was when COVID hit. Compare that to, again, Etsy, which I think is a much better comp, right? And not even close. eBay was like around $40 when COVID hit, now in the 50s. Etsy was around, $60 when COVID hit, now in the 150s. And at one point, end of last year, was actually close to 300, which is crazy. I think that's a much better comp. And you look at Etsy really going more vertical specific, buying a company like Depop. They just did another acquisition in Brazil, which we love. So Etsy's really making moves to say, yes, you can have multiple core transactions, still has this kind of looser, seller to buyer core transaction where the platform isn't taking on 1P inventory like in Amazon, but understanding that you need to go deeper and provide other value-added services to have a successful marketplace business model in today's environment, and appreciating that, and now having multiple now vertical specific marketplaces that all kind of roll up under the Etsy umbrella. Love that approach. Do not like eBay's approach. Hi, I'm Alex. Thanks for watching the show. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, but even better, make sure to follow us on Odyssey, follow us on Rumble, and text us 203-646-5159. Text the word Monopoly. You'll be subscribed. You'll get updates about when we're going live, our latest videos, and we'll send you even a little goodie bag. And in the event that we all get banned from big tech, we'll still be connected.